are you, everybody who is watching this video? My name is Olenjolai TAYAI from the beautiful, fantastic country, United Republic of Tanzania, or in parentheses, or in bracket, just equality Tanzania. And this is our fantastic national flag. Once you see this flag, this indicating that it's a beautiful country, and it's a vast country, and the country with several resources, natural resources, such as national park, such as longest mountains and minerals, and etc., etc. I would like to take this time to welcome you, whether you are a national viewer or international viewer. You're warmly welcome onto our online schools. That's called TANZANIA Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. The Olenjolai, that is my name. And simultaneously, I would like to welcome you into one of our YouTube or official channel that's called TANZANIA Online or Level Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. So in these official YouTube channels, we upload more than we expect. We expect to upload more than 400 videos in this channel, so that we insist you and every students to make sure that you subscribe. So once we upload any new video, then the YouTube community will give you notifications that Olenjolai has added a new video in TANZANIA Online Ordinary Secondary School. This is an online schools. We don't have a physical schools at this moment, but these are kind of the special schools, because we are dealing with the mindset of the students, and we don't deal with the physical appearance and physical strengths of the students, but we are dealing with mindset of ordinary secondary school students. Well, these contents will be universal because we have three departments of chemistry, departments of basic mathematics, departments of physics. And these subjects are universal, are common, so that any student or any viewer from any of the 60 contents might be getting advantage on this YouTube channel. So it means that any students in Europe can take benefits of these contents that will be uploading in our official YouTube channel, and a student from Asian continent, and students from African continents where I originate. So any student from South Africa, any student from Egypt, you can benefit from these contents. That's not all, but also students from the North America who understand English, because I'll be using English as a teaching language. So I'll be using English in teaching of every subject in this channel. However, that is for the fundamental physics, chemistry, and basic mathematics. For the Form 1, I use two languages, Swahili and English language. So before even I go into too much details of this session 1 of static electricity for the Form 2, I would like to remind you quickly the visions that we have in this program. So in this in TANZANIA Online Ordinary Secondary Schools in square bracket Olenjolai. So God has revealed who the founder of this program, his own visions in our mind and in our minds, and it has been written there, and it has been there for more than 2 years. And this is the picture that has been revealed in my heart. God has told me that I have to prepare and incubate some students who are serious and who will be ready to take the classroom instructions in physics, in chemistry, in biology, later even in agriculture, in basic applied mathematics, or in additional mathematics, to combine with the wisdom and knowledge and the understanding of the Word of God from the Bible, in order to solve real life simple problems. So our main objective in this program is to see our continuing students and even graduate students of ordinary level solve their problems. So when we say ordinary level or the ordinary level, it means that the intermediate level, the next level after fundamental primary education. That's the meaning that we are saying about. We have some few specific objectives. We have some few specific objectives in this channel. One of the specific objectives is to make our students to understand science and basic mathematics subjects. And our second specific objective, to help our students to pass the continuous assessment, for example, the midterm test, terminal exams, annual exams, mock exams, and the next exams. So that's our second specific objective. And our third specific objective, that to see our students, they understand and they are are performing successful in academics until that they get a certificate of secondary education examination. So we like to see our students graduating successful from the Form 4 or from the ordinary level, which is 4-year educational system. So those are the sum of the specific objective. We still have so many specific objectives. That's why that we still encourage you to watch session 00 in these YouTube channels, which is titled as the General Introduction of Physics Form 2. So we explained so much about the introductions. So let us go quickly to the sessions of the day. And I would like to remind you that you should be serious and you should make sure that you have every material that I have mentioned. Should you have, first of all, the syllabus I will be using to be forecast. I will be using the syllabus of United Republic of Tanzania. So you should have a syllabus book like this one that's has been titled as Physics Syllabus for Ordinary Secondary Education Form 1 to Form 4. So if you are watching from Uganda, you are watching from Serbia, you are watching from United Kingdom, so you're watching at the students of in the second year of secondary ordinary educations in United States of America, you're watching from China. Don't get discouraged because I'm using the syllabus of United Republic of Tanzania. Physics for the Form 2 is universal. For instance, I'll be introducing the concepts of static electricity in this topic. It's universal. First of all, Tanzanians, we didn't discover static electricity, and possibly that we didn't contribute even any of the contents that we are going to teach. So that's why that I say that stay connected, stay tuned, but you should have a syllabus of your country. At least that you should have a syllabus, you should know the syllabus, what you should cover, because the syllabus gives you boundaries of what you have to cover. But again, if you remember that this is the quick review of session 00, I said also you should have a reference textbook. So this is the reference textbook beside you. In case that you don't have this syllabus book, don't be discouraged. You can go to the descriptions of this video and you see how much does it cost you and what the shipping cost is, so I can ship it to you in any regions of United Republic of Tanzania. So you should have also a textbook. For example, this one is Physics Form 1 and 2 students' books, and it has been prepared by Tanzania Institute of Education. Also, if you don't have this book, you can order and even some other books such as Physics Abbott and even Physics it's called Physics for all level by Abbott, and even Principles of Physics and different books of physics for the Form 2 and even for the entire all level from 3, Form 1 and Form 4. You can order them. So go to the descriptions and see how much does it cost you, so that we can ship. You can order and pay the shipping costs, so we can ship to you and have these materials, because you don't only teach but also supply weapons. And these weapons are the textbooks, questions and answers books, so that to make our students enjoy the beauty of physics and eliminate the mindset that physics is a difficult subject, so I have to take another route of history. So you have to be focused and keep on your vision that you want possibly to be an engineer, you want possibly to be a doctor. So there's no way out that you can become into those professions without mastering physics. So let us do the quick review of the session I've mentioned in my general introduction, which is called the session 00. It is still in our YouTube channels that called the General Introduction of Physics Form 2. Okay, so there we did it quickly the following things. Number one, we explained the vision of what? The visions of Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School in square bracket Olenjolai. And then we explained to you about the problem that we are solving. Okay, problem and the solution. I'm solving a problem, a national problem, and even possibly international problem, okay, to help students who fail to understand science and mathematics is subject. Against that, I shared to you the big picture of physics that God has revealed in my mind, okay, in my mind since then, and still there. And that's what makes me to keep moving, because remember that Olenjolai does not know everything about physics for all level, but I'm still learning. I'm always learning the new concepts. But what I know, I'm ready to teach it as a student. So the big picture of what your physics is. Again, we have another, I introduced to you another concept, which is reference books and material. Okay, reference books and the materials. So reference books and materials, here we have textbook, we have question and answers books. So I've mentioned so many reference materials. You have to make sure that you review them. Then I mentioned about topics of physics and the prerequisite of physics Form 2. So the prerequisite of physics Form 2 is physics Form 1. Physics Form 1 and the primary science and science in primary education. Science in primary education. So I have explained so many things. It's just a sessions of more than 50 minutes. You have to make sure that you go through it before you enjoy this session 1. So we have so many topics as well as I will mention in this topic of static electricity. But the first one is called the static electricity. And this is session 1, the general introductions of static electricity. Say first of all, static electricity. And because this is the first topic for the Form 2 education, or Form 2 level, Form 2 level, I would like to welcome you officially in Form 2. You're only welcome. Okay, stay focused and stay enjoying the beauty of science, especially physics subject. Physics is a beautiful subject, very interesting subject, very broad subject. You'll be studying small things and to the large things like the universe. The universe is the largest thing in the world, and the smallest thing is just an atom, right? An atom. So we'll be studying about the atoms, the protons, the neutrons, and electrons, etc., etc., etc. So let us go to the session right now. So as I told you, so just this is a general introduction. Remember that in primary education, you learned a huge subject and very interesting subject that's called the science, right? In Swahili called the science. So this huge subject, when you reach into the ordinary level, okay, all level, and since the Form 1, so this means about Form 1 to Form 4, means that class 9 to class 12, then you find that this subject of science has been divided into 3 groups, right? Into 3 branches or into 3 subjects, right? So I want just to give you the big picture. So we have 3 subjects right now. Okay, the first one is called the biology. Okay, so you can pause the video and mention what the second subject. The second subject of science is called the chemistry. So remember that this is in primary education. Okay, primary education. So this is chemistry, and then we say that we have here interesting subject which is called the physics. Okay, so if we classify also the subject of physics in all level, we get 4 subjects, right? We get 4 subjects. The first subject is called the physics Form 1. Okay, this is fundamental. We have already covered during the Form 1, and even if you didn't cover and didn't understand, you are not late. We still have all the lectures and we have taught all the topics of physics Form 1, and all the videos are still in our YouTube channel that's called Tanzania Online O-Level Circuit School in square bracket Olenjolai. So you just write Tanzania Online O-Level Circuit School in square bracket Olenjolai in our YouTube, in the YouTube search engine, and then so you get into the channel. Okay, so then, and I have included these sessions in playlist. There's something that we call the playlist. Also, we have the next subject, which is called the physics Form 2, and then we have the next subject, which is called the physics Form 3, which will be the next subject after physics Form 2. And also, we have the next subject, which is called the physics Form 4. Physics Form 4. Okay? So these are the 4 subjects of physics in ordinary level. So remember that this is still O level, it's not the A level. So we have covered physics Form 1. Now we are in physics Form 2. So then I want to take this route of physics Form 2. And if I take this route of physics Form 2, I want just to tell you that this subject of physics Form 2, it has what? So this we call them branches of science. So this we call them branches, just to remind you, branches of of science. Okay, and this we call them subjects, right? So, or level physics subjects. And here in physics form 2, the good news, we have 9 chapters. We have 9 chapters. I'm going to teach you 9 chapters of 40 of physics. 9 chapters, right? We have chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3. So now we come to the interesting part, however, that I've presented this information in session 00 of the general introductions of 40 of general introductions of physics from 1, from 2, but I would like just to remind you quickly because I won't repeat this information once again. So let us come to the part that we call it chapters or topics, okay? Topics of 40 of the physics form 2, okay? Physics form 2, physics form 2, okay? So chapters or topics, how many chapters or topics of physics form 2? So to know the number of chapters and to know the contents of the chapters, we need a reference book. That's called the Physics Syllabus for Ordinary Secondary Education from 1 to Form 4. So if you're in Tanzania, you need this book. And if you're parents, you have to make sure that your students have this book because it will be essential for the learning physics from 1, Form 2, Form 3, Form 4. I know that the hardest subject of in Tanzania educational systems for ordinary secondary education and even advanced secondary education is physics. So I believe that physics is not the hardest subject. And I'm going to solve this subject and eliminate that mindset and to have every student of these present generations and even the future generations who have visions in science and especially in physics. So it means that you'll have a choice just like you. So because I know that you are many students they used to have many students they used to have common choice in history because history is not difficult for them. So many students they can master, so they can have a choice that according to my visions, will I apply history in my life? Will I apply civics in my life? So I want to make physics, this is the responsibility that God has given me, and I'm reminding you so that you can pray. And in order for me to achieve it, I want to make physics to become as a simplest, interesting, beautiful, and even encouraging subject, right? And a very interesting subject, okay? So I want to make it simplest and simpler and simpler. It will be a very simple language, regardless of your history in physics. Even if that in Form 1 you did bad, believe me that in Form 2 you can get up and catch up, and even will pass in your next exams for the Form 2 in physics and even for the rest of your life. So one of our specific objective to make you love physics. If you had that love, I know that you loved the science during the primary educations. Possibly that you had bad teachers, you didn't love it, but that's not the end. I can make you, and God can help me to make you to love physics because physics is a study of nature, right? Okay. So then the chapter, so he said that according to the syllabus, so if you're watching these contents as an international student, according to the, remember that we are focusing on the syllabus of the Republic of Tanzania, but that's not the limitation. You should have the syllabus of your country. Okay, according to the syllabus, to the new, because these syllabus are updated to the new syllabus, okay, of what? Of this one. Let me call it new syllabus that called the physics syllabus, right? Physics syllabus, okay, for ordinary education, from 1 to Form 4. From 1 to Form 4, okay, by Tanzania Institute of Education. And this is from page 10, the syllabus, the content for the Form 2, from page 30. So you see, this is page 30. Okay, let me bring closer and closer to the lens. This page 30. You see, Form 2, and this is the class level competence and class level objectives. And here we have the first topic, which is called the static electricity. Okay, and these are specific objective, teaching and learning strategies. So I'm going to discuss about this book soon in this lecture. That's why I call it the general introduction, and show you the focus and the boundaries. So this is from page 30 to So the content for the Form 2 begins from page 60, and this goes to the page 68. To the page 68 of this book. So this is the end of this is the last page for the syllabus of the Form 2, Physics Form 2, and end with one of specific objective that explains the conversions of geothermal energy to the electrical energy. Okay. So we say that according to this, there are 9 topics or chapters. 9 topics or chapters of what? Of physics Form 2. Okay? So then we said that these topics are, the first one is called the static electricity. Say static electricity. This is the first topic that I'm going to teach you, and you'll enjoy static electricity. That's the first topic. And the second topic is called the current electricity. Interesting. So the first and second is all about the electricity. And if you're expecting to be electrical engineer, telecommunication engineer, computer engineer, biomedical engineer, even chemical engineer, that's there, information technology engineer, IT engineer, and the electronics engineering, or electronics engineer, mechatronics engineer, so all the fields of electrical, you have to understand these first topics. The first topic is static electricity, and the second one, and you have to keep this information for the rest of your life, current electricity. Okay, current electricity. So this is the second topic. The third topic of basically of physics Form 2. The second topic is called the magnetism. Say magnetism. This is the longest topic in this subject. Magnetism. Magnetism, in Swahili we call it SMAG, right? We learned magnetism in primary education. We learned electricity in primary education. So magnetism, that's the third topic. And the fourth topic after magnetism, the next topic is forces in equilibrium. Forces in equilibrium. So I'm going to teach you about forces in equilibrium. Very important concept. Forces in equilibrium. About clockwise and the anti-clockwise moment. Because even these forces in equilibrium, we may find that we apply this concept in static data, in advanced physics, in static electricity. When we have discussed about charges. So when we say that the charges are at equilibrium, and even different systems that they used to be in equilibrium. So if the system is at equilibrium, for example, if it is just like executing the simple harmonic, then we can deal with those forces. And even that if the 2-point charges, maybe they are being suspended by this rate, and then when the system is at equilibrium, then you find that we can now resolve the forces. Then the next is the fifth topic is called motion in a straight line. So this is about motion. So you see things moving. Okay, so from here we begin teaching you things, different things which are being designed from the engineering, so applications of science, which are moving. And for this case, we'll be focusing on the straight line. So motion in a straight line. And then the seventh topic is called the newtons. Newtons is a name of the great scientist, Newton's law. So the 60th chapter, we are going to teach you on the Newton laws. There are 3 Newton's laws of motion. Okay, so at this level. So, but once you will be advancing, in physics, you'll be learning Newton's law in different other types of motions. Then temperature. Okay. So the next the 8th topic is called the temperature. Temperature is all about it's a degree of coldness or what? Hotness. It's a degree of coldness or hotness. So you feel hot and you feel cold. So that's what we call it in physics temperature. So you're going to teach you, and interestingly also in advanced level, we have a topic called the heat, and the first topic is called the temperature and thermometers. Okay? Then that is motions of the forces in equilibrium. That's the force. Okay, the forces in equilibrium. And then the fifth topic is simple machine. Excuse me, I made a mistake. Okay, the fifth topic is simple machine. The fifth topic is simple machines, not motion in a straight line. So the fifth topic is simple machine. So forces in equilibrium. The fifth topic is called the simple machines. You have learned about simple machines in your primary education. Simple machines. Okay. And then the sixth topic is called the motion in a straight line. And the seventh topic is called the Newton's law. And the eighth topic is called the temperature. And the ninth topic, which the last one, is called the sustainable. Okay. So we call it the sustainable energy. So we're teaching about sustainable energy. Sustainable energy. Okay? So these are the 9 topics of 40 of physics Form 2. The first one is called static electricity. The second one is called current electricity. The third one is called magnetism. The fourth one is called the forces in equilibrium. The fifth one is called the simple machines. The sixth one is called motion in a straight line. And the seventh one is called Newton's laws. And the eighth one is called temperature. The ninth one is called sustainable energy. Believe me, this is the promise I want to give you, and also you have to give me the same promise. For myself as a teacher, as well that I told you that I have a responsibility, and it's a responsibility and assignment that God has given, who has employed me, to make sure that I make physics Form 2 to be the simplest, interesting, attractive, beautiful subject to present generations and even the future generations. So in order to achieve that objective, I'll be teaching you, I'll be teaching you static electricity. In this online school, I'll teach you current electricity in Tanzania online ordinary secondary school. I'll teach you magnetism in Tanzania online ordinary secondary school. I'll teach you forces in equilibrium in Tanzania online ordinary secondary school in square bracket Olenjolai. I'll teach you the topic of simple machines in Tanzania online ordinary secondary school in square bracket Olenjolai. I'm going also to teach you the topic of motion in a straight line in Tanzania online ordinary secondary school in square bracket Olenjolai. And I'm going to teach you the topic of Newton's law in Tanzania online ordinary secondary school in square bracket Olenjolai. And I'm going to teach you the topic called the temperature in Tanzania online ordinary secondary schools in square bracket Olenjolai. And also I'm going to teach you the ninth topic and last topic that's called sustainable energy. This is the ninth topic in Tanzania online ordinary secondary schools in square bracket Olenjolai. And at this moment we have one of our international or the global or universal YouTube channels that called Tanzania Online or Level Circuit Schools in square bracket. You have to make sure you subscribe, you share these contents, you read the descriptions in order for you to be informed with the valid information for the rest of your life. So the promise I want you to make, I want you to make very interesting promise and very important promise. This is the promise that I want my every students and even everybody who is interested in what I'm doing is to stay tuned, to be with me from this session 1 of static electricity to the last sessions of each topic. Will you do that? Tell me in the comment sections. And then tell me that you're enjoying this content from which school, from which region, from which district, from which village, from which ward, right? From which city, from which country, from which continent. Tell me in the comment section there, because I like to know where you are from or you're sounding about. So if that's the case now, we have to make sure that I want to take you into the next step. And the next step that now we are like to begin the chapter 1 of the static electricity. And let us focus, we are still focused on session 1. And let me presenting to you subtopics. Subtopics of 40, subtopics of physics. Subtopics of static electricity now. Let me take you inside static electricity. Subtopics of static electricity. Okay, static electricity. So subtopics of static electricity. Okay. So we say that according to the new syllabus, there are 60 subtopics of static electricity. Okay. So we should have to be familiar with them. So according to the new syllabus, of physics, okay, new syllabus of physics for ordinary secondary education, for ordinary secondary education, okay, education from 1 to Form 4 of 2010. There are 6 subtopics. Of static electricity that we have to teach every student of Form 2 in any continent, static electricity. And these subtopics are, these subtopics are the first one, which you go to 121, is called the first subtopic. I'm going to teach you according to this book. Just go to page 30, then we see the first subtopic. So this is the first subtopic that's called the concept of static electricity. So it's here. Topics or subtopic. The bold is static electricity, and this 1.1 is static of concept of static electricity. This is the first specific objective. So it's called the concept. So I'm going to teach about concept of static electricity. It's just like concept of physics, concepts of static electricity. So this subtopic is all about introduction. Okay? That's the first subtopic. The second subtopic, according to the new syllabus of physics for ordinary secondary education, is called detection. So we'll teach you detection. So it's called detection of charges. So how you can detect charges, how you can comment that this is the negative or positive charge. So you should have that business. You should have that business for the rest of your life. Okay? So you say that detection of charges. Detection of charges. Okay? And then the second subtopic is called the conductors and insulators. So it's called the conductors and the insulators. Okay? That's the same subtopic. So we are going to teach about conductors and what insulators. What does conduct electricity and what does not conduct electricity. The fourth subtopic, I will teach you about interesting electronic components, which we call them capacitors. And I give you a promise, I will show you what the capacitor is. We have different sizes of capacitors, we have different types of capacitors. So stay tuned and stay focused and wait that promise, because I will fulfill it, capacitors. And then we have the next subtopic that's called the charge distribution. Okay, charge distribution. Charge distribution Okay, charge distribution along the surface, along the surface, along the surface, along the surface of a conductor, along the surface of a conductor. Then the last subtopic is called the lightning. Okay, lightning. It's called the lightning conductor. Lightning conductor. Okay, lightning conductor. So this is G. So these are the 6 subtopics that we are going to cover, right? The first one is called the concept of static electricity. I'll teach you. The second one is called the detections of charges. The third one is called conductors and insulators. The fourth one is called the capacitors. The fifth one is called the charge distribution along the surface of the conductor. And the sixth subtopic is called the lightning conductor, right? So I'm going to teach you about all of these specific objectives. So stay tuned. The next concept that now I'm going to explain to you is called the specific objectives, because in each chapter we have some specific objective that I would like to discuss with you so that you may enjoy the beauty of it. So stay tuned. Okay, so after presenting these 6 topics of static electricity, and the next step right now that I'm going to present to you in this general introductions of static electricity is called the specific objectives. The syllabus for ordinary secondary education for the Form 2 declared specific objectives in each subtopic that a teacher has to make sure that every student achieve at the end of this at the end of the topic of the static electricity. So if you're an international student, you can just visit your curriculum, means your syllabus, the syllabus for ordinary or middle school, okay, or ordinary secondary education. So you can see the specific objective. But for our country, we have some specific objectives that I would like to present to you in this general introduction. And in each subtopics, we have more than one specific objectives. So because I want active students, I won't mention all their specific objective. For instance, if I will find more than one specific objective, I won't mention all the 4 specific objectives, because you'll be copying from the teacher and I will be doing the spoon feedings, while that's not the intentions of this program. So what happens actually that I will be mentioning one and then leave the blank space so you can fill by once you have this book or a copy of this book. It doesn't mean that maybe I want to entertain you. I have already insisted you to have this book and you have to copy on your hand. So let us come now to the specific objectives of each subtopic. So now we are coming to the part of specific objectives. Specific objectives of each subtopic. If you find that I'm teaching quickly and I'm writing quickly, you can review this video several times as well as you can. Specific, this is F, not P, specific objectives of each subtopic. So there are specific objectives that the students has to achieve at the end of each subtopic of electrostatic, right? Of static electricity, right? Of static electricity. Static electricity. Okay, so at the end, when I'll be teaching you at the end of this topic, you have to check whether we achieved these specific objectives or not. So let us start with the first specific objectives. I was the first subtopic that's called concept of static electricity. So you say that the specific objectives, because plural of 40 of the subtopic called the subtopic of static electricity of the concept, okay, that will be half what we achieved at the end of covering the concepts of static electricity, okay, of static electricity, okay. This might be something new to you. I know that in many schools, they don't mention they don't relate the contents they are teaching with the syllabus. but that is according to them, not according to me. Okay, so we say that because we are using different teaching style, different teaching methodology. So we say that let me quote the student, you who is watching right now, learning with me, should be able. You should be able. Okay, you should be able to. Okay, how many specific objectives in this subtopic? There are 4 specific objectives. I'll mention 2, and we'll fill the blank. 5 specific objectives. So I'll mention 3. And then so you fill the blanks for the 2 specific objectives. So 2, so Roman A. So this I quote according to this one, because let me show you. So this is the topic of static electricity, right? So this is the topic of static electricity, concept and subtopic of concept of static electricity. These are 4 specific objectives for this topic and for this subtopic, and this is the 5th specific objective. For the second subtopic, we have how many? A, B, C, D. So 3 specific objective. For the third, we have only 1 specific objective. For the fourth, we have A, B. For the fourth subtopic, we have 4 specific objective. For the 5th subtopic, we have 2 specific objective. And for the last subtopic, we have 3 specific objective. So it's a kind of serious business. Okay. So the first specific objective as the students have to cover at the end of the first topic is called the students should be able to explain the concept, should be able to explain the concept of what? To explain the concept of static electricity. Static electricity. That's the first specific objective. Then here we are in the second specific objective. So let me prevent and leave the blank. That's the, we label the second specific objective for this subtopic as part B. So B, this we leave the blank. Okay, leave the blank. Then we have part C, right? Part C. So part C, we say that, identify the 2 types of charges. So a student should be able to identify the 2 types of charges. The 2 types. We have 2 types of charges. Good news. We have 2 types of what? The 2 types of charges. So you should be able to identify the 2 types of charges because you need to learn this concept for the rest of your life until you reach to a PhD if you take a measure of electricity. But remember that electricity is almost everywhere and anywhere you'll find electricity. Identify the 2 types of charges. Then C, I leave the blank, have this book and fill that blank of the 4th specific objective. The last specific objective for this subtopic, the student should be able to charge bodies. So this is a kind of practical charge bodies. Okay, practical, maybe simple practical, using different methods. So you should be able to charge bodies. Okay, charge bodies using different. Some of the specific objective might be a little bit challenging to make them due to the availability of materials and the environments. So those are this is the end of the code. These are 5 specific objectives that the students has to achieve at the end of the concept of static electricity. Well, so that this is the 1.1. Then let me take you into 1.2, specific objectives. Let me present to you the specific objective. If you have any question, ask in the comment section. Specific objectives, okay, specific objective of the second subtopic. What the name of second subtopic of detections of charges, of detection of charge. What should you achieve at the end of learning the concept of detection of charges? Okay, according to the syllabus, I've been recommended, I as a teacher, the student should be able, okay, should be able to Roman R. So we have how many specific objectives are there? There are 3 specific objectives. So I will mention 2 and leave 1 for you. Make sure that you fill the blanks. Make sure that you order this book, or you can look from your local shop. But the best way you should have to order, because I I distribute these books cheap. I don't look for the profit. I'm just providing the service to the present and future generation. Okay, to describe the structure of the gold leaf electrostome. At the end, I have to teach you that you should be able to describe the structure. Say structure. It's a little bit challenging terms in pronunciation of a gold leaf electroscope. A gold leaf electroscope. Okay? So that is Roman R, gold leaf electroscope. And then the second specific objective, we fill the blanks, and then we go for C. The third specific objective is you have students should be able to identify what? To identify steps. I have to teach you to identify steps of what? Steps of charging and discharging. These concepts of charging and discharging, okay, capacitors, or discharging, charging and discharging. So for this case, I'll be teaching you charging and discharging of what? Of a gold leaf, right? Of a gold leaf. Okay, gold leaf, of a gold leaf electroscope. Okay, gold leaf electroscope. Okay, electroscope. So this is, I'll be teaching about how I can charge and discharging the gold leaf electroscope, but later also I'll be teaching you how to charge, the concepts of charging and discharging a capacitor. Very important in electronics, very important in electrical, very important in computer engineering, very important in telecommunication engineering. It's very important in mechatronics engineering. It's very important in electrical engineering. It's very important in biomedical engineering, because this principle is common in electrical devices and electronics devices. So this is the end of quotation. So let us go to 1.3, and I would like to mention specific objectives. Okay, very interesting. This is a very interesting topic. Specific objectives of what? Of the third subtopic, which is called the conductors and insulators. What should you achieve after you learn conductors? Conductors simply and insulators, this means that a material which conducting or do not conduct electricity. So conductors and insulators. So the method, okay, the student, okay, should be able to do the following. How many specific objectives are there? Only one. So it's not Roman. Okay? So the student should be able to distinguish. The student should be able to distinguish. Students should be able to distinguish between a conductor and insulator. You have to be able to distinguish between conductor and the insulator, so that you enjoy the concept of electrostatic. This is the end of quotation. Okay? That's the specific objective of You're only welcome. If you join me right now, my name is Olenjolai from beautiful country Tanzania. I'm presenting I'm teaching you the general introductions of static electricity for the Form 2. Also, we have a topic called the static electricity or electrostatic for the Form 5. And I also have another online school, which is called Tanzania Online Advanced Secondary Schools in square bracket Olenjolai, where that I used to teach advanced students about advanced physics. So stay tuned. So we shall be together. Okay. And then we go for the 1.4. And this 1.4, we say that I would like to present to you specific objectives, right? Specific objectives of the first subtopic. What the name of the first subtopic? Capacitor. This is one of my favorite subtopics, capacitors. Okay? So then let me cut according to the syllabus. The student, you who is watching right now, should be able, okay? Should be able to, okay? So then we have okay, to do what? We have, okay, if I find one specific objective I mentioned to explain the concepts of capacitance, I will teach you how you can explain the concept of of capacitance. Okay, concept of capacitance. That is the first specific objective, and even your local teachers have to teach you. And then the second specific objective, you leave the blank. You have to fill the blank, and you will find it in. You have to refer the syllabus, page 34, right? Yes, page 34. Yeah. Then we have the same specific objective, which is C. I have to make sure that you are able to describe the constructions of air-filled capacitor. Okay, to describe. So you have to be able to describe the construction, say construction of air-filled capacitor. Constructions of air-filled capacitor. Okay, constructions of air-filled capacitor. Should be able to describe the construction of air-filled capacitor. And the last specific objective, I leave the blank. You have to fill it, and you have to refer the syllabus, page 34. Beautiful. Physics is a very beautiful subject. And if you hate it because of the bad teacher, I would like to tell you the good news that don't condemn them. Don't judge them. Don't hate physics because of the bad teacher you met along your life. Focus on your vision. Focus on the purpose that made you to come into this planet Earth. So, okay, so this is the end of the quotation. So now let me present to you 1.5 specific objectives. Okay, specific objective. I would like just you to repeat again. If you find that I'm teaching you quickly, then you have to review this lecture several times until you understand every concept that I'm teaching you. Okay, charge distribution. Charge distribution along the surface. So I have to teach you charge distribution along the surface of a conductor. Along the surface of a conductor. Okay? So we have specific objectives of the charge distributions along the surface of the conductor, and we will get this specific objective in the syllabus for ordinary secondary education from 1 to Form 4 in page 35. Okay? So there are two specific objectives. I will just take out only one and then leave the blank for you. And this the student, you should be able, okay, should be able to do what? To recognize. I have to make sure that you are able to recognize that charge on a conductor. Okay? On a conductor, reside on it. Okay? Reside on it, outer surface. Okay? Outer surface, and okay, this is the quote, or this is the quotation, and then you have B. You have this question mark, so you have to fill the blank, and that's the end of the quotation. Okay? Do you enjoy the beauty of physics? Physics is beautiful. In case you feel from your heart that you are beginning to see the hope, and you begin to see the miracles, okay, in your house, in your car, at your school, at your friend's house, on your TV, on your smartphone, on your iPhone, on your computer. Next, you say that I want to offer God my freewheeling thanksgiving through this program, also Tanzania Online Ordinary Secondary School. Then you can use this telephone number 0759745331 to send your thanksgiving. It's the freewheelings. It's not just mandatory or compulsory. You have to offer it by face so that you can support the running cost for this program. So many lectures and many sessions and many periods of static electricity will be in air for the present and future generation. So then we have 1.6. We have specific objectives of the last subtopic, which is called the lighting conductor. Lightning conductor. Okay, lightning conductors. So this is the last thing, lightning conductor. Last subtopic. So we have some specific objective. Okay, let me quote them. The student, you should be able to do what? Roman R. To explain the phenomenon of lightning conductor. Lightning conductor. To explain what? To explain the phenomena of lightning. The phenomena of lightning conductor. Lightning conductor. Okay? Lightning conductor. And then you have B. Okay? Then B, I have to leave the space, so you have to fill the blank. And this you have to refer the syllabus for ordinary secondary education, page 35, so we'll set 6. Okay? So then we have Roman C. Roman C, we say that constructing a simple lightning conductor. Constructing a simple lightning conductor. Constructing a simple lightning conductor. Okay, a simple lightning conductor. And this is the end of this concept of subtopics. So make sure that you have this book. I told you that in case you need a physical book like this, or you need a copy of this book, you have to go to the descriptions below of this video and you see how much does it cost, right? How much does this book cost it, and so that you can order it. Okay, you can order it, and what the shipping cost it from Dar es Salaam to any regions of United Republic of Tanzania, right? Make sure you have it. So you ask your parents or your guardians or your sponsors to buy this book for you in order for you to enjoy the beauty of physics, because I told you that physics is not a difficult subject. Physics is an excellent and beautiful subject, right? Beautiful subject. It's not difficult. It's neither difficult nor simple. It's neither difficult nor simple. Then let me end my session 1 of this, my session 1, by presenting to you contents or concepts. Myself as a teacher, who will be teaching you static electricity, will be teaching you physics for the Form 2, and I'll be beginning with the topic of static electricity. I have sat down and see the requirements, see the questions and answers, the past papers for the next exams, Form 2, and even for the Form 4, and see the areas of applications and the truths, the nature. And then I broke down all of these 6 subtopics into something I call them concepts or contents. So now I'm going to link to you contents. So these, I call them contents or concepts. Possibly your teacher might not mention this in the class. Don't worry about that. We differ. Okay, however, that we are still building the same foundations, and especially this is the strong foundation for the physics Form 2 of static electricity. So I broke those 6 subtopics and comes with at least 13 subtopics or 13 concepts. The first concepts, the one that which I've already covered, which is the general introduction. So these introductions you might not see in your physical class. Okay, I call it analog class, but you see it in digital class, and this is the difference that we have. Okay, general introduction of static electricity, and I'm about to cover static electricity. I'm about to cover this concept. And the second subtopic, I'll be teaching you the first subtopic. The second concept, which is about the first subtopic, which is the concept of concept of static electricity. So we'll define first of all what it means of the word static and what it means first of all what it means of the word electricity. Okay, concept of static electricity. Static electricity. Okay, static electricity. Okay, so that's what we have to cover. And then 1.3, we'll be having also fundamental laws of electrostatic. Teach about the definitions of the electricity, definition of static electricity. Also, I'll teach about the history of static electricity, fundamental law of electrostatic. Fundamental law of electrostatic. Okay, fundamental law of electrostatic. We have a fundamental law of electrostatic about what happens when the two charges, when two charges are brought close together. Then different methods of, I will teach about different methods of electric charging. There are different methods used in physics, different methods of what? Of electric charging. So if you want to charge the body to have negative charge, what happens? What are the methods we can use? Then the fifth concept I will teach about detection, which is the second subtopic, detection of charges. It means I'll teach you all about God-leaf electroscope. Okay, detections of charges. Okay, then the sixth concept, I will teach you about God-leaf electroscope now. God-leaf. So here I will introduce to you what the means of detection of the charges. God-leaf electroscope. Very important device. Electroscope. God-leaf electroscope. Okay? So God-leaf electroscope. God-leaf electroscope. So then 1.7, okay, 1.7, the seventh concept that I will teach you about conductors and the insulators. Okay, conductors and the insulators. 1.8, for the eighth concept, I will teach you now about my favorite subtopic, which is all about capacitors, because I'm electrical engineer or I'm electronics engineer and I love it for the rest of my life. So we have capacitors in electronics engineering. Okay. So equivalence capacitance, I will teach you about mathematical point of view, equivalence capacitance. Okay. Equivalence capacitance. Equivalence capacitance. Okay. Equivalent capacitance of a combination. Okay, of a combination of capacitors. Combinations of capacitors. Then I will teach you the 10th concept. In these 10 concepts, I will teach about charge distribution. Charge distribution along the surface along the surface of a conductor. Surface of conductor. Surface of conductor. Then the 11th subtopic, I'll teach about lightning conductors. What the meanings of lightning conductors. Lightning conductors. What does it mean? And the 12th concept that I'll teach about thunderstorm. Thunderstorm. Okay, thunderstorm. Thunderstorm. I'll teach about thunderstorm. And then 13th concept, I'll teach about solving problem, solving questions. Questions, when I say questions, past paper questions are different questions from different books, solving questions of of static electricity, right? Electricity. And one of the reference here that will be used, I want just to mention in advance, is Nectar Form 2. This will be the reference, okay? So this is all about what I have prepared. So remember that what I've presented to you, I can do the brief summary, okay? Can just present the brief summary of what I've presented in this kind of lecture. The first thing which I've presented to you, or I've taught you, is all about the concepts of physics, of static electricity. And I told you about, first of all, science. In science has 3 branches. One of the branches is physics. And then I told that for ordinary secondary education, we have 4 subjects: Physics Form 1, Physics Form 2, Physics Form 3, Physics Form 4. And the good news that in TANZANIA online or ordinary secondary school, we are teaching you all of those 4 subjects. So we are dealing with the Form 2 subjects. We mentioned that we have 9 topics. The first one is static electricity, and the last one is sustainable energy. Okay, so we have 9 topics we have to cover in this subject of Physics Form 2. Then next we just presented 6 subtopics of static electricity. Then I present specific objectives that the students has to achieve after covering each subtopic. And finally, I've presented to you concepts that I'm going to teach you in the entire topic of static electricity. So it will be illegal for me if I will leave you without the homework. So this will be homework 1. And this homework just contains 2 questions, which will prepare you for the next session, which is session 2, of which I will be teaching about the concept of physics. What is electricity? So you have to define electricity. What is electricity? That's the first question. And the second question, which you have to look for yourself before we meet in the next session, what is static electricity? Or what are the types? Okay, what are the types? So these 3 questions, types of electricity. Electricity in Swahili means umeme. Okay? So question 3 is what is static electricity? So make sure that it's static electricity. So what are the types of electricity? We have types of electricity. What is static electricity? So make sure that you answer, you try your level best without aid of somebody, to use your previous knowledge of primary education, convey those sentences which define the following terminologies: electricity, types of electricity, and this static electricity. Okay, because static means it's stationary, this is not moving. So convey it and explain in English, try your level best, write it down, and then submit in the comment sections below this video. So this is the end of this session. I would like to thank God who have been with me from the beginnings of these programs. And even because God is the one who gave me this idea. I have never thought in my life that I'll be teaching in national and international students. I know that I have this gift of teaching for more than 11 years ago, for more than 13 years ago. But I didn't know that if I will go broadly from the limitations where other teachers used to earn. or we used to have their own limitations in a certain school or in a certain college or in a certain institution. But God is faithful right now. We're using the digital technology, and using the internet. I can teach the entire nations of Tanzania. I can teach the entire continents of Africa. I can teach the entire continents of North America. I can teach the entire continents of South America. I can teach the entire continents of Europe. I can teach the entire continents of Asia. I can teach the entire continents of Australia. Remember that I don't know everything, and nobody who knows everything. I just know small portions of physics. But I'm ready to teach what I know. That's all. That's a principle, and that's an assignment that God has given to me. Remember also the vision that will be, when we'll be taking these sessions, you have to think yourself, how can you take this classroom instruction, combined with the knowledge of the Word of God that I'll be teaching you also in another departments of the kingdoms of heaven, or the departments of spiritual knowledge or spiritual education, and then solve the real life problems. So always you are thinking, you're learning about static electricity, you have electricity at your home, you have different sources source of energy of electricity. Think about the batteries that you have at home, the national, or for example, the small batteries, the medium batteries, the car batteries, the motorcycle batteries. Think about them. And think about something about static electricity. What they mean is, how are you going to apply? What problems are you going to solve in your community? So may God bless you. I'm praying earnestly for you as my online students and even my physical students, so that God may bless you in your academics, in your education, so you have to prosper. It's a responsibility of you to prosper in this world, as long as you are obedient to the Word of God. So may God bless you. Keep praying for me so that God may give me strength in preparations, in teaching, in editing of these contents, in uploadings, and even publishing publicly, and also in advertisements. So everybody who needs these contents might know that the knowledge of Physics of Form 2 now is at your hand. So may God bless you, and see you in the next session, which is session 2, when I'll be teaching about the concepts of static electricity. Be blessed.